Oh, yes. What's happening, everybody? It's Wednesday evening, 7:30 Central Time. I'm here to give you my greasy four-leg parlay for UFC 283. We got it checking in at plus 915 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm going to share my screen with you here, and I'm going to take you through this one bet by bet here. Now, the first line, and by the way, on the bottom of the screen there, you see the Patreon. Go join it, $5 a month for the basic stats, which you see right here, and then $20 a month for the prop template, which has all the analytics and all the over-under betting analytics for the sophisticated data-based gambler. It's a great product, and I will be making improvements to it after I finish up this data import project that I've been working on for the last month. I will share that with you guys on Twitter once it's all ready to go, and we got the new Patreon packages ready to go for you guys. But in the meantime, $5 a month for the weekly stats that we do here is always good. And Bootsy's telling you he's going to bite you if you don't get on it, so please do. But let's take you through this four-leg parlay leg by leg here, you guys. The first leg is going to be the under 2.5 rounds in the Faron Nunez fight. It's minus 165 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. So if you go into the fight line section here of the MMA odds, you see the money line, you see the total rounds, and here we're going to go under 2.5 at minus 165. Josiane Nunez has finished 78% of her pro wins by knockout, and Zara Faron has been finished in both of her UFC losses and in 2 of 4 professional losses. So, you know, she's fought some tomato cans on the regional scene and not gotten finished in the losses there, but she's 6-4. She's not a good fighter. She's listed at 5'8", but she's actually about 6 feet tall. She has a hard time making 145. There's a good chance that this fight doesn't happen because Zara Faron very rarely shows up to fight, and when she does, she gets her ass shaved. And Josiane Nunez, who just might be Joe Benavidez in drag, is very powerful. Big overhand lefts from Josie. She hurts people. Bea Malecki hasn't been the same since she got knocked out by Josie. And I know that Josie beat 7 shades of shit out of Ramona Pasquale as well. So I think that Josie's going to get this job done probably in the very first round. And that's if Zara even bothers to show up. Josie's going to walk her down. I don't think Zara's going to be able to use her length. And if she's unable to do that, it's just a matter of time before that left hand finds the jaw of Zara Faron and she goes down. So under 2.5 rounds, Faron Nunez minus 165 is going to be the first leg. The second leg is going to be the Warlley Alves money line at minus 125. So we'll go to the money lines here, and we'll take Warlley Alves at minus 125. So here on the stats, Warlley Alves shows a lot more power, 0.35 knockdowns per 15 minutes to 0 for Dalby. Dalby's getting knocked down 4 times in 9 fights, while Warlley Alves has only been knocked down once in 13 fights. So Warlley's more powerful and more durable. Also, Warlley outcontrols his opponents 25% to 17%, while Dalby gets outcontrolled. He gets 17.6% control time, and he allows about 29% on only 12 takedowns in 9 fights. So Nick Dalby loses minutes in the grappling exchanges, and he'll be the less powerful striker here. I really think that the only way for Dalby to win this is for Warlley Alves to gas out, and then maybe he gets a third round finish, does Dalby. But if this is a kickboxing match, Warlley Alves always lands with a lot of power, and he's a very talented kickboxer. So I think wherever this fight goes, Warlley's going to be good, and I think he's a lot better here. And he's the younger guy at only 32 years old, while Nick Dalby is 38. So I do like this spot for Warlley. He's got the better strength of schedule numbers here as well. So, yeah, it's going to be Warlley Alves money line here at home in Brazil. I think it's a great spot for him. So that brings our parlay up to plus 189. The third leg is going to be Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. Terrence McKinney, T-Rex at minus 125 over Ismael Bonfim. So we put that leg in there, and that brings us up to plus 420 Yay, yay. And Terrence McKinney is a very difficult fighter to deal with, and I think that he is just continuing to get better. I think on the feet, he will be the more powerful striker, although Bonfim is an excellent boxer. But Terrence McKinney, if he doesn't like how it's going on the feet, will start shooting takedowns, and he's a very good wrestler and a very good submission grappler as well. So I think that there's more than one way for Terrence to win this fight, while Bonfim is just going to have to try to survive that early storm, weather that storm. And if he can do that and Terrence gasses out, he's got a great chance to finish Terrence late in the fight. But there are very few fighters that are durable enough to deal with the swarm that Terrence T-Rex McKinney puts on his opponents early in fights. And I love the fact that Terrence can mix in the wrestling, and he is a very talented submission grappler as well here. So at only 28 years old, I think he's going to be getting better. This is by far the most difficult competition that that Bonfim has seen. As if we look at Bonfim's last 5, it's Nariman Abasov, who's like a bantamweight. 28-3 though, going into that fight, and he was the Fight Night's global lightweight champion, and he had defended it 4 times going into that fight. But then when you look, I went and I was like, wow, that is a huge win for Bonfim. But when I watched the fight, the guy wasn't very good at all. He kind of just walked forward and threw volume and waited for his opponents to break. But Ismail didn't break, and Nariman wasn't very good. He was way undersized too for the division. And then when you look at the guys that Nariman was beating, they're not. I mean, they're great records, but they're nobodies. They've beaten nobody. I mean, I think he was just kind of like, he was kind of a guy who was in the right place at the right time and dominated a pretty weak market, which is surprising because Fight Nights Global is a very good promotion. But yeah, and then before that, it's Andre Augusto, Rangel Desa, João Lucas Neto, and Edvin Hayes. You know, so Terrence McKinney's been in there with Frivola, Ziam, Drew Dober, the Ghost Pepper. And then before that, even Sean Woodson. So, you know, there's some Terrence McKinney has definitely fought the much better brand of competition over his career. He's the better wrestler. He's probably the better submission grappler here, and he's got a lot more power on the feet. But Bonfim has power as well. He's an excellent boxer. It's just that I think he's going to have a very difficult time surviving that early storm from Terrence. So I'm predicting Terrence to get him out of there early. And Terrence McKinney's money line at -125 is leg number 3. So we're at +420. And that'll bring us up to the 4th leg, which is going to be fight does not start round 2 for Craig Walker at -105 on DraftKings Sportsbook. So we go here to the round, the round props, and it's to start round X. And then we're going to go down to Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker. And we're going to say fight to start round 2. No, at -105. So that brings the parlay up to +915. So when we go to the prop template here and we look at Craig Walker at -105, this is a 12% overpriced line when we compare the 51.2% implied probability to the benchmark for the division. How many fights at 205 don't start round 2? And it's actually 38.9% of fights at the 205-pound division finish in round 1. So about 39% finish. But these guys finish at a so it's 12% overpriced according to that line, right? But these guys are finishing at a higher rate than that. We see that +7.11% here means that we take that number and we add it to this. So 58.33% of these guys' fights are finishing in round 1 at the UFC level when we add up Johnny Walker and Paul Craig. And that is in a 24-fight sample size here. So it's a good enough sample size for us to be comfortable betting this with a 7% edge here and a 19% edge here. And because this is such a fight that so many people are expecting this to finish inside the distance, all these other lines are juiced to the tits. -280 for fight doesn't start round 3. That's overpriced by 19%. The minus 155 under 1.5 overpriced by 14%. The minus 325 under 2.5 overpriced by 17%. The minus 515 fight doesn't go overpriced by 22.6%. So this is the cheapest of the lines. And it's also the one where Walker and Craig's combined stats at the UFC level are the best over the division. See, 19.43% here, but for fight doesn't start round 3, it's only 12.65. Only 5.39% for under 0.5. Only 15.88%. So this is also one of the numbers where Craig and Walker, they tend to finish in round 1. So that is one that you would expect to be more overpriced than the others, but it's actually less. So that gives us plus 915. So $100 will win you $915 on this parlay. It's a long shot, but I like all 4 of these legs. And I have a tracked bet on Warley Alves. I have a tracked bet on Terrence McKinney. I have a tracked bet on fight to not start round 2. And the only one I don't have a tracked bet on is the under 2.5 for Nunez, Faron. So that's what we're going to do for this week, you guys. So yes, checking in at plus 915 on DraftKings Sportsbook. So let's try to cash this one. Saying what's up to the chat here. Cole Stein saying pay-per-view Grease, gotta love it. Let's cash it, baby. We've got my guy Mushroom in the room saying, oh yes, let's cash this Greasy 4-legger. Let's get it. Let's get some. Says Daniel Hernandez. And Daz saying Greasy as let's go. Let's get it, Daz. Prince of Mischief saying, can I get a oh? Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Prince of Mischief. RC Misak saying, oi, thank you for everything. Thank you for watching, RC. Dope Space Cowboy saying, let's strike it rich. And I got a max bet on the mistake line on FanDuel, thanks to Dope Space Cowboy watching Probability on the MMA Engine YouTube channel. So that's the biggest bet of the week, but this is one that could really hit and really hit hard. So plus 915, we gotta love it. Lauren Williams is in the room waving. What's up, Lauren? Good to see you in here. We got Jester saying, my main parlay this week is Nunez Faron under 2.5, Almeida to win, Gelatina Almeida, okay, and under 1.5 minus 330. Okay, Andrade wins inside the distance at plus 110, brings the parlay to plus 340. Very nice. Very nice, Jester. I like it. Andrade has been such a good finisher lately, but Lauren Murphy is so durable. So something's going to break there because Jessica, she destroys people to the body. Benito saying, Weezy, what do you think about Islam and Usman being minus 300 favorites in their next fights? Yeah, I think Islam deserves to be a minus 300 favorite because Volkanovski's fighting up a weight class here and because nobody has ever stopped Islam Makhachev's wrestling. And then, as far as Usman being a minus 300 favorite, maybe he should be minus 200 or something. But, that was a fight that he won he was winning. He had easily won 3 of the first 4 rounds. That first round, he obviously lost to Edwards. But, yeah, I think that Usman should be the favorite. That was definitely, a lucky kick that he got at the end of the fight. But it was set up beautifully, and, there's no doubt about that knockout. So, yeah, if you're a value hunter, nothing wrong with taking that Edwards side. But I think the Kamaru Usman's going to get the job done. And I'd be surprised if I was able to get him anywhere close to minus 200. And then Usman. So we just talked about that too. Prediction Shark is saying, my gut has been screaming. Lacerda wins loud and clear. That would be wild if that happened. And that's you can get a good line on that one, Prediction Shark. And then Lacerda by sub would be a good look too. We got Jeff K saying Joe B is pulling a Joanna, man. You got that right, man. There's no doubt about it. I still want to see a picture of him in the same room at the same time with Josiane Nunez, and then I'll believe that they're not the same person. All right, and we got Prince of Mischief saying, what's the parlay buster for 283? Oh, who's the parlay buster? I don't know, man. I like all these favorites. But if you're throwing Gabriel Bonfim in your parlays, just know that your Uncle Weezy's got a money line bet on Munir Lazez. Excuse me. It's not going to be Jailton. Shouldn't be Thiago Moises. Bruno Ferreira, if he knocks out Gregory Rodriguez, just think about how many times Gregory Rodriguez has been hurt in the UFC cage. I mean, that would be wild if he broke it. Pateria, if people are parlaying Pateria, I could easily see him being a parlay buster. I could see Mauricio Shogun, who will be being given a sham decision in his retirement fight. Yeah, and I think that's about it on the parlay busters. You guys, thank you. I know that there's a bunch of other shows on right now, so we got thank you for hanging out here with me while I give out my Greasy 4-leg parlay, all 21 of you. But I'm going to check out right now. I'm going to get the link together I'm going to be going live in 2 hours and 15 minutes to do Ask Weezy tonight. So if you have any questions about any of the 15 fights on this card, any of the 30 fighters, any of the stats, any of the prop templates, leans, let me know. Join me tonight, 10 o'clock Central Time. I'll get that link out on Twitter right now to you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC 283 and cash this Greasy 4-legger, which is checking in at plus 915 on DraftKings Sportsbook. God bless each and every one of you guys, and I'll see you in a couple hours.